Hey, you guys. Welcome to Hey DFW with Aaron J. I hope you guys are staying safe, wearing your mask, and just staying prayed up, you guys. So I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, which is Specs Custom Writing Services. It is a boutique writing agency that specializes in resume writing, curriculum vitae, thank you letters, as well as bios. So please check my website out. It's www.specswriting.com. All right, so today's guest is serving a dual role as a firefighter and a restaurant owner. He recently opened Burgerim Westend location in downtown Dallas in October 2019. So you guys, please welcome Wes Williams. Yay!
What's going on?
How you doing?
Doing all right.
You guys, he's been so patient with me today. A lot of stuff has taken place before we came on air, so he's been super patient with me and very nice to me. So you guys, make sure you go check him out. Please go check him out. So I have a few questions for you.
All right, questions.
Well, first of all, how are you feeling with all this stuff going on? Just wearing a mask, and are you okay? Is everybody okay? All your loved ones?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's for the most part, following the protocol and the rules and the regulations. Wearing your mask and social distancing, and even with the business, we've been able to kind of keep everybody safe, all while in the same token still provide the food to the to the community. So we rocking and rolling with it. I mean, that's all you really can do, truthfully. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So you're a firefighter?
Correct. 13 years.
13 years. That's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
All right, appreciate that.
What made you pursue that career?
So initially, my degree was in communications and advertising. And so, of course, when you graduate, you got your degree, you want to get work in your degree. And so firefighting was always kind of like the plan B option. And so when I really was just having an issue or just kind of a hard time finding just the perfect job for my degree, I went to the plan B option. And so at that time, Detroit wasn't hiring. Originally from Detroit, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Detroit.
West side to be exact. Right
Okay.
there. So, like I said, Detroit wasn't hiring at the time, but I had went ahead and got my Fire 1 and Fire 2 certification. And so a buddy of mine who's actually now a Detroit firefighter, his uncle, who was already on the department, knew someone on Dallas's department. And I always thought about Texas, like I said, it's a lot of opportunities in the city, and I always knew that, the city was still growing, and, just a lot of financial job opportunities and so forth. So he made a phone call. I talked to him. He told me the date when they were doing the testing. I went ahead, flew down, took the test, and passed every part, and the rest was history. That was in 2007.
Okay. Yeah. How did you because everybody knows I always talk about I'm new to Dallas, and it's been pretty much going on 2 years now. So with the new job,
right.
And how did you just start to get adjusted? I always like to know people that are
honestly, it was an easy adjustment. Really, the fire department helped with that because working at different stations, you learn the city quick. Mm-hmm. So we're when I first got assigned to a station, it was actually downtown. So it was Station 18, which is right around the corner.
Okay. Right
there on Griffin Street. So I learned downtown quick, within 3 months, just ripping and running. And so from there you work at different stations. Sometimes you kind of in North Dallas, sometimes you further south. Just all of these stations around the city. And just making different runs and transporting patients to different hospitals. So you learn quick. Mm-hmm. You learn the directions, the one-way streets. Of course, downtown, just the ins and outs and all the little small side streets. So, for me, it really took me probably about a strong year to just have been just about everywhere. And that's including Addison and Fort Worth and just being out and about. So it was an easy adjustment for me.
Oh.
So.
Wow. I have not quite learned my way around here successfully.
Give it some time,
at all. Okay. So, what do you enjoy the most about it?
What do I enjoy the most? I would say the opportunities. Like I said, I would say Dallas does have a lot of financial opportunities in regards to like real estate, the networking pool when it comes to business.
That's true.
Um, like I said, just overall, just the business aspect is pretty cool down here. So, and just Texas in general, honestly. So that's what I would say I enjoy the most. So,
Um, what do you think about the heat?
I'll take 100 degrees over snow
Okay.
any day.
All
Now,
right.
have you ever dealt with snow before?
I have, and I can't drive
That's right.
in
See,
snow
can't drive.
or rain.
I mean, you can if you're from Michigan. You know, you're used to
Yeah.
it. But in general, like it's snow. It's
Yeah.
hard to get some stuff accomplished. But 100
Yeah.
degrees. That's why we got AC. You can
Okay.
keep it moving.
Okay. All
So
right.
you you must don't like the heat.
No, like when I lived in Georgia,
Okay. Georgia gets
and
hot.
it's hot, but it's like humid. Like it's a little moist. Like Texas is like, you know, a little bit of brimstone kind of action going on. It's just like dry heat.
Okay.
So it took me like the first year I like broke out like when in July. So now I just kind of, if I do leave the house
Hmm.
like on the weekends and things of that sort, it's like really literally after like 6 o'clock. Even for like light stuff like groceries, it's just too hot for me. I know it's extra, but
I guess. I guess.
it's so hot.
Mm.
Okay. In addition to firefighting, you have like a real estate business as well. How did you get into that?
So initially, the ultimate goal for me was time, and so
Mm-hmm.
of course, with time, you have the ability to do whatever it is that you want to do. But in order to have that time, you have to have some type of form of aggressive passive income to, basically support that. And so at the time I was in my house, I had a buddy that I worked with who did real estate, and he was just talking about, just how things were going in the market and so forth. And so I was just like, well, let's just look and see, how much my house was worth. And so we went ahead and checked. The value shot up, so it was a perfect time for me to sell. And so I went ahead and flipped my first house while I was down here, and then simultaneously was looking for the second house, and went ahead and moved into that house, and then a year later flipped that one, and that was the one that kind of put me over the top as far as with capital. And so I always thought about real estate, but it was just a
Mm-hmm.
matter of I never really just got around to it. And then once the opportunity showed itself that I can make money off of the house that I was in down here, I went ahead and took advantage of that. And so, of course, you don't want to just make the money and then not have something to do with it, because then you're going to blow through it. So
Right.
I went ahead and made a profit. And at that point, I was initially looking at apartment buildings, and price range was a little bit out of my pockets range, so I held back. And then I came across the franchise through another coworker who told another coworker, which was my buddy that actually did the real estate. And so he told me about it. And so from there, I went in and got my meeting and got everything situated, and then was set to have my own actual location. And then the rest was just history. But yeah, the initial capital outside of my actual paycheck from being a firefighter, it was the real estate portion, just flipping those houses. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. So, of all the things that you could invest in, why a restaurant?
So initially, it could have, and like I tell a lot of people, I'm a part of the restaurant industry kind of just by default, because really, it could have been a oil change shop, it could have been a tire store, any form of passive income through a franchise that actually made sense to me. So it's just when I came across this one, the kind of the motto, the format of how it was structured, and then the fact that I was allowed to kind of put my own little twist on it, it just kind of stood out. And so I was like, all right, this seemed kind of cool. And so from there, I went ahead and went through the process to get it. And now, granted, my location, it's a unique situation due to how I got it, and then the actual execution, and then the circumstances of the actual restaurant now, and just my interactions with the actual franchise on a corporate level. So it's in most cases, the franchise does a lot of the work for you,
Mm-hmm.
find your location, get you your contract and so forth. But on my end, I actually executed everything myself. So I really didn't go through the franchise outside of, I paid for the name, but the contractor was my guy, the architect was my guy. I found the location. The franchise attorney was my guy. Me and him negotiated the lease, did the LOI letter, financed it on my end, no partners. Got the liquor license, got the tobacco license, got the furniture, did the hiring, do the firing, executed the just kind of the days of the week as far as like the different themes, the artwork that I have on the inside. These are artists that I know that I found, just everything. Uniforms. I
Right.
mean, the inventory. Just and even with the training, at the time the franchise was kind of having issues in regards to getting the trainer out to me, and so a buddy of mine that was actually with the company who even stated that as far as my location being trained, it really wasn't on the next up list or whatever. So he went ahead out of his own, just good free will. Was like, hey, look, I really want to get you open. Give me 4 days, I'll train. But that was based off of our relationship.
Right.
So, just the whole execution. I mean, everything was strictly on me. And so I really didn't have no help from the franchise, which is actually unique. And so with that, things like paying franchise fees and any points on your profit, I don't.
Okay.
So I don't have any relationship with corporate. Corporate doesn't have any relationship with me. And so
Okay.
my build out is very unique versus any of the other Burgerims that you may have come across. And that's, nationwide for what it's worth. Mine versus having a restaurant that has a bar, my execution is more of a bar that serves food. And the reason behind that is, just because you're eating doesn't always mean that you're drinking. But if a person is drinking, 9 times out of 10, eventually they're going to be eating. And so, all of the elements that's going to keep a person at a bar for more than an hour. So, of course, a good drink, signature drinks that I have, even the food, just the execution of it is a little bit detailed versus a lot of the other locations. And it's the same menu, of course,
Right.
but, it's just the effort, behind it that goes in the kitchen. I'm a licensed seller for Dallas Leaf Cigars, so I sell cigars at my location. I provide hookah through another vendor, Premier Vibes Hookah. Like I said, they come through a lot, and they set up shop, and they provide hookah. And just in general, just different days of the week. I have DJs. My Mondays is I Love Mojitos. My West End Wednesdays. Tuesdays is my Latin hip hop night. Like just different themes and different aspects that's going to hit people at different angles and make them actually want to come out and enjoy the restaurant experience. All in the midst of, keeping safe, wearing your mask, no inside dining. Strictly patio, but of course on the patio I provide the umbrellas, have a fan out there that blows out the mist with the water, have TVs outside, surround sound outside, and just comfortable furniture for what it's worth. So it's an experience, it's a vibe.
So, I've been there. I do like the aesthetics and things of that sort, and I didn't know that like it was pretty much all you. So by you pretty much being able to have like into that like that deep, you can literally take like some type of you have like personal like ownership, and you're like,
All right.
it's like this is your baby.
Yeah, essentially it actually is your restaurant. And that's the kind of the gift and the curse of the pros and the cons, because when you get a franchise, you buy one based off of the ideology of the model is already set for you.
Right.
You don't have to really do too much thinking. They have how the food should be cooked, how the uniform should look. Here's where you get your food from. Here's the contractor that we go through. We provide you with this. We provide you with that. We get you, you know what I'm saying? So you essentially pay this big number, and they do all this for you. And it's already a system. Like they already have it so that it can replicate. Now, of course, with that, the con, or if you want to call it a con, is the fact that, you have to pay your, franchise fees to them.
Right.
So you make a profit, but still you're giving out a share. Versus your own restaurant, you set the standards, you decide everything. If you want it to look like this, or you want to, you have full control. And of course, I won't say a con, but the fact of the matter is you have to create the actual model. So let's say if you want to do a second location, like you have to set the parameters so that it can be replicated. And then of course the beauty of that is, you keep all the money. You're not paying nobody else,
That's true.
But so it just depends on, what luxury you want. Do you want to have to format everything yourself, or you want it already, down to a system. And so, of course, initially with me, I wanted it down to a system, but the beauty and I guess you could say the struggle with this situation was it put me in a position to learn how the actual franchise model or world works because I had to do everything. So even though I paid for a franchise, in reality, it turned back around to really just being me doing my own restaurant. And so, I had to, go through the relationship with the contractor and see all the steps that goes into getting permits pulled and dealing with the city and learning that format. I got the chance to see the architect side, how you actually design it. When you're also given the parameters of, your stove needs to be this many feet from the prep station, and you plug those in, and then you come up with a design. It's like playing a video game. It's actually kind of cool. Then even just something as small as the hiring process. What are you looking for in a manager? What are you looking for in a cook? What are you looking for in a bartender? What things are standing out in his manager skills? What things are standing out in the skills of being a cook? Just all of those parameters. And it's trial and error because my motto is, I hire slow but fire fast. So, you take your time and you try and vet out each person and you get them in there. And when you start seeing that things aren't working and they're not formatting and the vibe is bad, get rid of them.
Yeah.
So just a lot of this process, I learned on the fly. So I had a few people that I can call out to that had restaurants or either they managed a bar before or they had experience in the actual franchise world. And, you get advice from here and there, but, just that day to day when it's a Tuesday at 3 p.m., what I'm saying? You're finishing lunch rush, like those type of, learning experiences, that was just me. And, it's humbling. It's healthy anxiety. It's healthy fear. It's, it builds character, but I wouldn't have had it no other way. Like, I'm glad that things lined up the way that it did and I was forced in a corner because, if it's not in you, a situation like this should bring it out of you. And if it doesn't, it's just not in you,
Yeah.
So, I'm enjoying it.
Okay. Speaking of situations, so you've been open since October 2019. You're coming up on your first year. Congratulations.
That's right.
And since then, the country has faced COVID-19.
Oh, COVID.
Following protest and a little rioting here and there.
Right.
And so your location had to adjust to the COVID situation with the social distancing. Then I know, when I was even trying to book you, then it was the protest. Then there was a curfew.
There was, yeah.
And then, your windows were busted at one point.
Correct.
So being that all this is taking place in your first year of business,
That's
which
right.
Like most businesses don't even get this.
That's right.
How does that, just looking back on it, well, it's not really even looking too far back, but we're still kind of in the middle of, social distancing and slowly, opening back up. How do you process this emotionally?
So for me, it's business. And sometimes business happens. So sometimes your windows get broken out. Sometimes a pipe bursts. Sometimes there's some new regulations that the city may implement. It's just business. It comes with the territory. And so, with doing business, if sudden changes or things kind of rattle you, or this not the world for you, and that's how I looked at it. It was never really just a problem, just haven't figured out the answer.
Yeah.
And so the situation with the windows, because I knew the bigger picture in regards to the actual riot and how a protest shifts to a riot and the dynamics, like culturally, I couldn't get mad. Like it just, an organic response was, all right. It's 3 a.m. I'm sweeping glass. I'm tired. But I did what business does. You make a phone call. And of course, I'm big on, your net worth is your net worth. So when you do good business and, you have good energy, people speak on your name in circles that you're not unaware of. And so they become your resume. And so, when you are in a jam and you reach out for people, they're quick to help you because, okay, yeah, he's a solid individual. I like
Right.
how he does business. Excuse me. So when it happened, I made a phone call. I called a company in regards to the windows. They came out quick, put the wood up, and I went ahead and pre-ordered the new window on the spot. Now, of course, before they came out there, I took a picture just saying, "Hey, if let's say by any chance they don't make it, or you see broken glass, I'm still open tomorrow. I'm still rocking and rolling. So I did the picture and just put it out there just to let the customers know, and eventually the guy came out, fixed the window, and I went home and went to sleep. And, 3 hours later, I woke back up and the phone was jumping off the dresser. A lot of people, gravitated towards the post and, were appreciative in the manner that I handled the situation. And that was cool because sometimes, your words or your statements go unheard. And so when you do something that's, just organically and you're not, just trying to be groundbreaking or anything like that. You're just giving a response, and people genuinely appreciate that. That's a cool feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, there's people out there that think the way that I do. And so that was the situation. And from there, the community really supported. They came out and showed a lot of love, and so and that felt good.
Yeah.
So, but to digress back to what I was saying, business happens. You know, Sometimes a pandemic hits you. I mean, it is right.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it is what it is. And versus okay, the things that you can't do. You know, look at those gray areas, or what is it that I can do. So with the restaurant, okay, at one point it was no dining in and no dining outside either, even if you had a patio. Okay, cool, but I can still, take orders and as far as online delivery, that's still effective, right? Okay,
Right.
cool. So Grubhub was still going, Uber Eats was still going, Easy Cater was still going, and then I did personal delivery free of charge. So you can call in the order, say I wanted to deliver it. We took the payment over the phone, and I got in my car and I drove and I delivered food. So whether it was from Addison to Duncanville, I was dropping off food. I was pulling up and dropping food off to the customers, and that was free of charge. And so that's my way of investing back in the customers because you know to a degree they could have ate anywhere,
Right.
but they still want to support the business. And I get it. In the midst of this pandemic, like I said, a lot of times, people are leery on just ordering out. A lot of people were just cooking for themselves, but whenever they wanted a break, some people decided to call Burgerim Westend. Okay, well, I appreciate that. And in return, I'm going to drop the food off and it's free delivery, and that was my method with that. And I just turned the restaurant into like a food truck. You ordered your food, you can pull up and maybe pull to the side. We would bring the food out to you, curbside delivery. And, as time went on, of course, there was the curfew. And so we just adjusted the hours and people still came and supported. Then eventually, Texas allowed you to deliver alcohol. So that was another, positive step. So now I can deliver margaritas. I could deliver beer. I did a campaign with New Vodka, that vodka company, to support my kitchen staff back at the house because I had to furlough them.
Yeah.
So I did a burgers and bottles campaign. $20 got you 2 small burgers, a fry, and you got a pint of vodka. So came up with creative ways to still engage the customer in the restaurant experience, as well as looking out for the staff. And of course, in the same manner, we made sure safety was practiced, gloves, wear your mask, and of course, social distancing. If you were
Right.
coming, if you were getting out the car, just to phone in and say, "Hey, I got an order. I'm standing outside." And so even with that, eventually they allowed, okay, you can have a certain occupancy inside, but from day one, it was always no inside dining for me. and you had to wear a mask. So I was kind of ahead of the game in regards to, what protocols were about to happen because I was already doing them. And so even with my patio, the tables are spaced out, enough to where you're not up under nobody. The patio is wide open. You can sit out there. If you come inside, you have to wear a mask. If you decide to go to the restroom, you have to wear a mask to come in. If you don't have a mask, I have masks for sale. And, of course, we have hand sanitizer for you. We have gloves if they need it, so all while keeping everybody safe and adjusting to the pandemic, we're still able to operate as a restaurant. But to bring it back home, that's business.
Yeah.
Sometimes a pandemic happens. I mean, it is
Okay.
what it is.
Well, you know what? That's a good attitude to have. And I'm gonna ask you this. So, do you think? Well, first, Kat, how are we on time? Are we good on time? Okay. Um, do you think your background in like advertising has anything to do with like your customer service?
Be honest, no.
Okay.
No. This is something natural, just dealing with people. Like, I didn't need a degree to understand the dynamics of human interaction or understanding the wants and the desires of a person when it comes to a product, when it comes to service. I mean, if you maneuver on respect, a lot of this comes, easy. So things like thank you, I appreciate you, let me
Yeah.
get that, welcome, eye contact, shake hands, I mean, I get that from my dad, you know what I'm saying? So that's stuff that I just knew growing up. And so just as if you're interacting with somebody and you're trying to get a job, or this is a new person that you're trying to do business with, or, anything on the manner of the human interaction, honestly, to me, a lot of this is just common sense. Like, I don't think that I'm doing anything groundbreaking or I'm not moving mountains with these theories or ideas. This is normal stuff for me. So, when a person comes to the door, you get the door for them. Let me get that for you. You got any trash I can take? How was everything? Hit your tables maybe every 2 minutes or a minute just to ask, you need something. How was the food? Just, I mean, it's just customer service. Or better yet, think about when you go to a restaurant and think about the things that you would like for that server or maybe the manager, or if the owner is there, what would you like for them to have done to you, and you just replicate it. It's just, it's just simple, just that, just that easy.
Okay.
So,
So you are doing both.
correct.
You're currently still serving as a firefighter, and you have a restaurant. So, what's a week like for you? Can you paint a brief picture of what a week is like? Just like, is it hectic? Is it?
It's busy. The
Yeah.
key is to not sleep.
Oh, okay.
Listen, you minus that sleep thing, and everything becomes easy. Nah, it's busy. It's busy. It's real detailed. Everything is scheduled. So, firefighter schedule: we 24 on, 48 off.
Okay.
Work a day, you off 2 days. And so when I'm at the station, I have a manager. She takes care of the restaurant, the ins and outs, and my staff is pretty solid. They know how to run their restaurant. They can roll the restaurant while I'm not there. So I check in with them. I had a camera system. I can look and see what's going on, check the POS. If they need something, they text me and so forth. So the day that I get off from the fire station, I normally go home, take a nap, wake up, hit the gym, shower, either go to the restaurant first or they'll text me, say, hey, I need you to grab this, grab that. I go make a run, come to the restaurant, and then while I'm there, it's just kind of more of the PR thing because I like talking to customers, getting feedback. If there's any random errands that need to be run outside of the food delivery when that comes on my Mondays and Thursdays, I just take care of that.
Yeah.
And, normally in the afternoons, I have a DJ. So, wait for the DJ to come see if he needs anything. Just kind of monitor the growth of the restaurant, see any new customers, any returning customers, kind of compare days. Okay, this day or this week, this Tuesday, we did this versus last Tuesday. I remember we did, kind of compare the crowds, compare the customer level, ticket numbers. Eventually you close, clean up, you go home, you try and do that thing called sleep, and then you wake up and you just do it again.
Do you find like so you get a lot of community support?
Yeah.
When you decided like because I've seen your specials, I was like, okay, the mojitos, I love that. So what made you decide to say, this is the atmosphere I want to create. This is what I want to do.
Because I think of like places that I've gone, or just really at this point, like how I like to relax. So I always said that I wanted just a real cool vibe of a restaurant. Because that's normally the spots that I like to go to. I describe my restaurant as a forever kickback. Like that's the title, the energy, if I had to describe it, you know what I'm saying? And so, I just wanted to feel as if there was a spot where there's no pressure. You can just pull up, have a drink, a bite to eat, and just really just exhale, And there's nothing wrong with, the club or the bar where the bottles come out with the sparkles and people standing on couches and, it's more of a lit crowd per se. And nothing wrong with that. But, every now and then you just kind of want a spot that you can just exhale at. Ain't no dress code or anything like that. You just came to chill and relax and, still experience the social aspect. Maybe you have a cigar, maybe you have a hookah, maybe I got the game on, I got music. So it's selective hip hop, selective R&B, Afrobeat, Caribbean, Latin, atmosphere house. I mean, just it's a melting pot of different angles to to catch a vibe, and so it's just where would I like to hang out at?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good, grown and sexy place. I'm past those sparkling days.
Right, and then like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just for the area that I was in, or just the I guess the angle that I was trying to just kind of see what was out there. Like, there's not too many spots that's like that. And so, I just figure, all right, let me just kind of create a little one of my own, in an area to where it hasn't been there, or it hasn't been in a while, Now, of course, given the history of the area, my restaurant, I'm the first African American to have a restaurant bar in the West End.
Okay.
And as of right now, I'm the only. And so there may have been spots to where it may have catered to the kind of the younger, the hip hop generation for what it's worth, but it just never was owned by an African American, or it just the vibe or the reputation of the spot, may have, been kind of jaded, or people may have gotten the wrong interpretation of it, just based off of just kind of as years going on and certain events and so forth. So I always said that my spot, I just wanted it to be executed in a real cool manner to where it's as if you were just exhaling. You know what I'm saying? It's just a forever kickback.
Okay. So. Well, tell us some of the things that we talked about it before we got on air about some of the things on the menu so everyone would know. Like, y'all, I had a burger.
She's had a burger.
I went out and got a burger.
And she liked it.
I did. I liked it. It was so good. And they had onion rings. So I don't really eat onions, but I ate these onion rings. Like, I usually, when I do get onion rings, I will take the skin off and
just eat the onion.
Eat the skin and not
not
it's
the onion.
So it's so weird. But I was
free. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay.
So I ate the whole onion ring. I was like, okay. So it's really good, you guys. So tell us about some of the things that are on the menu for those people who haven't gone yet.
Okay.
And Kat, if you want to pull it up too, like is your website Burgerim Westend?
So the Instagram, if you want to pull up.
Oh, go to his Instagram. They got some.
You got all your pictures of your burgers.
Right, so
it was good. So she can pull it up while you're talking.
Right, so it's a Burgerim_Westend. Okay. And so, of course, we have the normal menu, which is, universal at all Burgerims. We have the Angus beef, we have dry aged, we have Spanish, grilled chicken, crispy chicken.
What's dry aged?
So dry aged beef essentially is just a longer process of, actually making the meat. That's all.
Okay.
But, it's a different texture. And, that comes cowboy style, whereas you get the onion. I know you don't like onions, but you get an onion ring, barbecue sauce, and bacon on it, of course, with cheddar cheese.
Okay.
I just want to let you know real fast. I typed in BURG, And the third thing that popped up was Burger_Westend.
There it is.
Okay,
It's
good
the third
SEO
thing.
everything.
Check you out, man.
There it is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. So,
Okay.
but yeah, like I said, a lot of options. Of course, Hawaiian salmon burger. We have the Impossible, the uncut veggie. We have lamb. We have turkey.
So I'm going to show your pictures here. Go ahead and tell me, what I've got up on the screen.
Okay, so first we have the one right there. That's the Hawaiian salmon burger. That's
This one?
actually, that burger
Ooh.
I just re-released because for a hot second, probably for about 2 months, the actual warehouse was out of that brand. And so we hadn't had it, in the restaurant, but they got it back. And so now the Hawaiian salmon burger is available at Burgerim Westend. Please go down there and try it out. It's good. It's good. You will like it. Right next to that is the chili dub burger. So shout out to Grub Dubs. He came down, and that's him in the third picture with me outside in front of the artwork. That's a one-on-one art piece done by Loose Medium.
Okay.
Shout out to Loose Medium. He did the artwork outside. But that gentleman with the airbrush shirt, that's Grub Dubs. He came down and did a food blog special on my location, and even went in the kitchen and made his own burger. So that's the chili dub, which is basically a bacon cheddar cheese burger
With an onion ring?
with an onion ring and special chili made.
Man, that looks
in the kitchen,
delicious.
yeah.
But
So-
okay, but I've got to know the
Right
centerpiece.
under? Yeah,
What
yeah,
is
yeah.
Yeah,
that?
it's like I'll just waste
So that centerpiece burger, and shout out to my manager, Rika Nicole. That is the graffiti burger.
Okay.
So that is a double Angus burger with bacon, cheese, grilled onions, grilled jalapenos, a fried egg, cheddar cheese, nacho sauce on the top.
Okay, getting
I mean,
hungry.
it's
And I just had a Popeye sandwich like an hour ago, and this
we
looks
don't-
so good.
that's what you want to eat. Trust me.
This looks so good. I want it.
And we have a chicken sandwich too. It's called a Raging Chicken. And that was designed and created by one of my cooks. We call him Dom Sauce Walker. He created it, and it's a lemon pepper lemon pepper crispy chicken sandwich with a fried egg, grilled tomatoes, and you can add bacon and a fried egg to it. But yeah, it's the Raging Chicken. You have options when you come to Burger
looks like
in
you've
West
got good
End.
salads too.
We do a good salad. Yep.
What is what's this one?
Okay, so that's
Oh.
actually not a salad. That
What is
is
that?
the munchie meal. So the munchie meal is bacon, jalapeno, cheddar cheese fries with a fried egg, crispy chicken tenders chopped up on top with a ranch sauce that's drizzled on top of it.
That looks so good, West.
Options.
Wow.
My stomach is like
Angles and options when it comes to your food.
So I have a question. Okay, so I have a wing question.
Okay.
So, I have requested this in Texas, you guys. And I think, well, no, I know I was told by certain people that's not the way you ask for your wings. People don't say that here. I asked for my wings to be hard.
Yeah, fried hard.
Okay, so I didn't understand what was the problem, and I wasn't getting them hard.
Fried hard.
It was
all
weird.
Flats. Yeah.
That looks
And-
fried hard.
It does look fried hard.
Yeah, that looks fried
And
hard.
I was like, I went by several places. I'm not gonna say them, and I was like, I can't find fried hard wings. So
Yes.
someone that lives in Texas told me, Erin, you're supposed to say crispy. I was like, all right,
We
I'll say crispy.
we understand the lingo at Burger in West End. So if you want your wings fried hard, you can get them fried hard, and you can get them in
Yes.
buffalo, sweet crunchy chili garlic, barbecue, and we have some secret sauces that are kind of just special one-offs. Like we do a special lemon pepper, we do a Dom Cajun, we do a teriyaki, and it just depends on the month or the week. Sometimes we'll reveal them, sometimes we take them away, but you got options.
Okay.
All
right. So I don't know what I'm gonna get tonight. When I have time, I don't know if it's a burger or some
See?
wings, fried hard.
What is this?
So-
What is in the corner of that?
Okay, so that right there, that is a duo meal. Actually, is that a duo? No, so it's actually a trio, but they got an extra burger. And so essentially with the smaller burgers, you can do a duo or you can do a trio, and you can mismatch them. So you get two of the same, or you can mismatch them.
Is
Three of
that
the
what I
same.
saw, like that box? Because I was going to order
So
that
with the
box.
box, you can do a party box or you can do a family box. Party box, you get 16 burgers.
Yeah.
And you get 4 options.
I'll tell you about it after the show, what
Okay.
happened. But I was going to get one of those boxes for somebody.
Okay. You still can.
I'm gonna tell you about it, but I could. But I'm gonna tell you about the story behind it. Okay. Yeah, I was like, when I was in the process of looking for something to order, I was like, I'm talking to Wes this week. Let me just get something from them.
Right.
So that's what I was thinking about. But we'll chit chat for a second after this.
Fair enough.
Okay. So. What are your plans in the near future? Are you going to open up more? Or are you just like, you know what, I'm just going to do that?
Nah, the game plan. So, as stated earlier, my ultimate goal is time. This is essentially why I'm doing all of this. Now, of course, under the umbrella of time, things like wealth and then getting rich and then just making a lot, the steps that build up to wealth and all that. I want to go through those processes, but yeah, the goal is time. So in order to have time, I need multiple streams of income, and that's multiple investments. So there's other concepts that I'm looking at, I have a few irons in the fire right now that I'm just kind of working the kinks out and doing the research. But the goal is just keep investing until you're out of here, and you pass that knowledge on down to your kids, and your kids pass it on, and so forth. So you don't retire from investing, or you don't retire from making money.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of times the ideology of you work and you retire and the savings. I think there's a misconception, or people equate. Sometimes having a job means financial freedom, or having a college degree means financial freedom, and it doesn't correlate like that. And so one or at least 3 things that all wealthy people have in common is passive income, real estate, and stock. So we're not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
So just you hang around 5 or 7 people that are financially free and wealthy, and maybe billionaires or millionaires, you're gonna become the 8th. So that's the goal for me, is just keep going. You got to start with one, and you master that, and you get a second one. And then you get a third, and then you just keep going. You just keep growing. It's just
Okay.
just a regular.
All right. Well, you want to play a little game? We're gonna wrap up the show, so you're gonna play like a small little game with me.
Play a game. Okay.
You told me nothing was off limits.
Okay.
But this is not bad. So I do something at the end of each show. It's called Hey DFW's Top 5.
All right.
And it's just basically like 20 questions. And they're kind of, I don't know, I'm not going to say awkward questions, but they're sometimes deep questions, sometimes light questions about yourself that you wouldn't mind sharing.
Okay.
But you can not share if you don't want to. But I suggest you listen to the question first before you.
There we go.
Okay. So this is the first one. What is your favorite item on the menu?
Favorite item, chicken sandwich.
Okay.
The crispy.
The crispy chicken sandwich. Is it fried hard?
It is.
Okay. All right.
Yep, the raging chicken.
Okay. If there was something you could have more of that is not physical, what would it be?
I would say group economics.
What?
If I could have more of the idea or the act of group economics. People working together.
Okay, because
I guess you could say unity.
Okay.
But.
All right. What is the last book you read?
The last book that I read, it was, I'm trying to remember his full name. But
you can say the title.
What was it? I follow him on Instagram. Brother Rizan, I think I want to say Rizan, Rizzam. But he just released a book, and so that was the last book that I read. I forget the exact title. I think people that know who I'm talking about, y'all know that the book that he just released. So
what was it about?
Essentially, he was just talking about black culture and just kind of the miseducations and
a particular kind of black man. Is that what it's called?
Let me see his IG page.
Well, it's not on IG, but does it have like the orangish cover on it?
No, that's
No.
not
Man, he's
it.
got a lot of books then.
Yeah, it's because I think he was focusing on kind of like with social media and just how a lot of propaganda is fed out there to the masses. Like I said, if I had my computer bag with me, because
It's okay.
I actually got it with me. So
Okay. All right. So what is your favorite quote?
favorite quote, I would say nobody's favorite. And that's something that I tell myself. It goes into a longer saying that I'm nobody's favorite. I'm nobody's. I'm not special. Nobody cares about my bad days. Nobody cares about your good days. And I say all that to say that you have to dig into yourself and find your own inner star. Like if you're looking for the acceptance and the praises from outside people in regards to the things that you do, you're going to be let down because when you don't get them, then there you are.
Yeah.
So before you can, accept an applause from somebody else. And if they do applause, that's I appreciate that. But first, dig into yourself. Be your own motivator. Be your own energy source. Be that own battery in your own back. You know what I'm saying? Like dig into your inner star and do things for yourself. And if people recognize that, then cool. But if they don't, just know that you still got yourself, and that's why you're doing it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And so one thing I like to do is like with the Hey DFW is like have like themes. And so my last theme was QT with Aaron J when the studio was shut down, we were just in there, and so I was just doing the streaming. So now it's level up. So if you can tell anybody that's listening right now, how does a businessman that's working as a firefighter, has real estate investments, how would you give them advice if they're just in a space right now where they're not sure what to do? What would you tell them to do as far as leveling up?
What to do in regards to leveling up? I mean, I guess you could say the simple answer would be, figure out what your passion is. But then, of course, sometimes that's not the most easiest thing to do. Honestly, you really just have to have a lot of by yourself meetings. Like you really just have to dig into yourself and just figure out what it is, ultimately you're trying to achieve, or what it is that you want to do, or if you're doing something, why are you exactly doing it? And everybody's reason is different, and no reason is better than the other, but be 100% sure in the reasons why you do certain things. And a lot of times when you know the reason, everything else kind of falls into place. So what's your deepest passion for the actions that you're doing? So like I said, for me, it's time. Like I really just want time to do whatever it is I want to. Like right now, going into this new week, this Tuesday, there's going to be somebody sitting on a yacht, eating fruit, enjoying the middle of the day, like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's somebody that's exactly what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
But the reason that they're able to do that is because they have the investments and the financial lifestyle to back that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so in order for you to get to a point to where you're making money literally while you're eating, or just relaxing, like you have to have a very aggressive form of passive income, multiple streams,
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm doing. I just want some time.
Okay. All right. So can you tell everybody where to follow you?
Okay. So first, the address of Burgerim Westend, 1722 North Market Street, located in the West End area of downtown Dallas, Texas, right there on the corner of Market and Corbin. Personal IG is Westside Story 313. Restaurant IG is Burgerim_Westend. The Facebook page is Wes Williams. The Twitter account is Burgerim Westend.
Okay. All right. Okay, you guys, that's it for our show today. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at HeyDFW. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Bye.